Hi all, welcome to Spring Framework tutorial series. This is the fourth video of that series. In this video, we will be understanding constructor injection using Spring Framework. So we already have 2-3 videos on Spring Framework. We have Spring IOC tutorial, we have the dependency injection using setter methods. So it is recommended to watch these two videos. I'll put those links on the description section. You can go and watch those video. Then in this video, I will be discussing injecting the dependencies like here name and age in the form of constructor. So I will be using Spring IOC to inject those type of dependencies to our employee class. So let me go to this IntelliJ. So I will be creating the project called dependency constructor project. So on there I will be creating the employee class. Before going ahead with the videos, I will request you please subscribe to the channel, and if you face any issue you can ask on the comment section, and please provide any feedback. So I will do the right click, go to this new and create module, and I will use dependency constructor and Java as a language, Maven as a project, and I will be using Java 17. Then the group ID is dependency constructor. I will create the project. So what I will be covering, initially I will create a simple employee class having the field as name and age, and I will use general programming approach that we did in school or college life, and I will then fix those type of issues because that are not being used in enterprise level of applications. Then I will fix those issues using the Spring IOC specific to this application context I will be using. Then I will be using beans.xml file to configure the dependencies. So let's go ahead. The project has been created. So let's go to this class, and I will create a employee class. So as I mentioned, this employee class has name and age as a two attributes. So I will create those attributes, name, int, age. Now we have these two attributes. Now there is some method will be there to print those details. Let me create that. Public void print employee sysout, name is, and age is. So these are the names and age, it will be printed. Now I will go to this main class and I will create the constructor of this employee class, and I will set this value. Then I will show you what are the issue after setting this value. So I will expand this employee object, new employee. I will set this field name as Shubhodip, age as 27. Then I will call that functions we have created just now. So if we run this application, so this is the simple application, then it will print the name and age. So what happened that we are especially passing the value, and we are accessing the members of employee class. So it is not the right approach, right? It is not the right approach to directly edit the members of any class. So we must like encapsulate this employee class or the employee class fields so that others people can directly not directly edit the values or directly change the values or directly access the fields. So how to do that so that other people cannot directly change the value? So there's a setter method is there. We can create the setter method. So that things I already explained on the previous video on the Spring Framework video, the setting dependency injection with Spring. So you can watch that video. So now in this video we'll be set using constructor. So before that I will encapsulate this private string so that other class cannot directly access the field. So did you see that here error is coming, the name is private and cannot. So this is a good approach, but this is still not the end. There's a lot of issues are there. So I will just create a constructor for this. Generate constructor with both the fields. Yeah, right. So I'll just remove this. So we have created an object, provide name as Subhadeep and age is 27. Now let me run the application, then I will show you or I will explain you what are the issue. I click on there and I go to run. So we see that details are coming and it seems like this is the approach is correct, but internally it is not, because we are using the new employee and by this we are creating the object. But why we should create the object? Because we already have Spring framework which will have the IOC container and they will create the object and they will manage the object. Then we will just, as a developer, we will just do the logic, business logic to implement the real life use cases. So we will not do this new employee things. So this will be done by IOC container. So I will comment this. So how IOC container will do that? So for that, it will be having the application context and beans.xml file from where we will provide all the configuration. You can watch this video Spring IOC tutorial. You will get better understanding. Anyhow, I will be focusing specific to constructor injection in this video. So let's go ahead. So if you are still watching the video, I request you please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any issue, you can ask. And please like the video. So we have some beans.xml file. In the last video, we have created one XML file. I will go there and I copy that beans.xml. Go there, copy, and I'll paste it here. Paste. Okay. So I will remove this. Okay. So as I mentioned, we will not use this new employee to create the object. So instead of new employee Subhadeep 27, so Spring IOC have attribute or the tags called beans. So in this beans, it will create the object for us. Means Spring IOC will create. So to access that beans, means to access that object, it has some specific name. So we are using ID. And for which class the object should be created? This is the employee class. So we will use class equal to then employee. So this employee is located in which location? I will copy this package name dot the class name. Package name is this one dot class name is employee. Doing this, it internally means we are creating the employee object, but we need to pass the values as well, like Subhadeep and 27. To do that, we have a tag called constructor argument, because we are using constructor. We are the two argument constructor is there. So doing this means it is expecting a constructor should present on the developer that class. Like here is the employee class. So it has some like a name attribute. So because we should pass this name and we will pass some values as well. Subodip. And there is one more argument is there, right? The age argument. So I will do the same things. Age value is 26. So doing this means we are internally creating employee and passing the value Subodip 27. Okay, now we have used this beans. We have beans.xml configuration file. So this configuration file should be loaded by IOC container. So to access that IOC container, we have some dependencies called Spring Core and the Spring Context dependency. So I will copy that dependency. I will paste here. So why we are using this dependency, you can like import the Spring jar file as well, but I am using the Maven project, so I will load this dependency. I'll go to this main class. Now, as I mentioned, we will be using application context as a IOC container. So I will go there, write as application context and new, and it will load from which files? Beans.xml files. So now the IOC container is created the object. Created which object? This employee one object for employee class. So how you will access this object? Using this ID, because object have name. This name is emp1. So from this IOC, we have the get beans class. So get beans, you can assume it as the get object, and we know this object is of employee type. So I will typecast as employee.class, and I will store that on employee variable. So now let's run the application. Now we see that name is Subodip and age is 26 is being printed. But if you clearly observe this, and I will go to this employee.java class as well. Did you realize one thing? Like age type is name type is string, we know. That's why we are passing string. And for this age it is int type. Then why we are using this within a string? So why the string is not giving error? And while it is trying for the int as an data type, because a string is internally is intelligent, so that it is converted this string into a int. So if you are intelligent in string, then you can mention the type this is as int. So what that by doing this, you are telling the string that value of 26 you are passing, but think it as a integer type. So that is the case. And if we have one argument constructor, so this here we have created the two argument constructors. So if we have one argument constructor, for example, like just a int, so I will create generate constructor just age as a int. So for this employee, for example, employee having just age, so you can create the separate like beans, like you are creating separate object, right? And you can mention this emp2, and just for one argument you can pass this constructor argument value is something, I think as a 27, you can pass that. So doing this, it will create a different object called emp2, and from which constructor it will create object? From this constructor, single argument constructor, it will create the object. So that's all with this video. In the next video we'll be doing the injection of object type. So if you see this in the previous video, so we have already have employee class and it have department object. So department is a class type. So here we have called literal type of object literal type of injection. Now in the next video we'll be discussing on the object type of injection. So please do subscribe, and if you have any questions you can ask on the comment section. So thank you for watching the video.